Oh, I've been good, man. Taking care of the family.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might come back. We'll see.
Yeah. Been offered anything?
Let me see. Offer anything like what?
Like a fight.
Man, I get offered stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Fights, shoes, I don't know. We'll see.
Charlo, and then I'll have Errol Spence.
So Errol Spence at 154, maybe 12 months from
Yeah,
there.
if he wants to come to the big boy division, then yeah.
It's time for him to let boxing go. That's my opinion. I don't want to see him get in the ring and at a higher weight and it's been so long and the ring rust and the accident, the injuries. I think he should stay on his ranch, enjoy what he has gotten.
Errol Spence Jr. talks ahead of his return fight against Tim Tszyu, showing strong focus, hard training, and full determination for a big comeback in 2026.
Man, we working, man. We working. You know what I'm saying?
He ain't wake me up for real.
Nah, bro. Hey, going on vacation, not bringing you running.
Errol Spence Jr. plans to return to the ring in 2026, shutting down retirement rumors as he prepares for a comeback fight.
And so it was for me to help him realize that. That was pretty crazy. For him to come back in the gym and me to be holding mitts and be looking at him, you know, you can't believe it. I think it's like the biggest comeback in professional sports. If you don't believe in yourself, why should I? And he believes in himself.
Errol Spence Jr. said that after his hard loss to Terrence Crawford, many people told him not to fight again, but he chose not to let doubt or outside voices decide the future of his career.
On social media said, if I come back, I'll be the shell of myself. You know, if he comes back, you know, he's gonna, but he probably not gonna come back. He's damaged. I just, you know, use it all as fuel. Some people can use it all and be not motivated and be like, and let that knock them down. I use it as fuel.
Tim Tszyu admits this fight has fully fired him up. Unlike anything he's faced before, he says he'll be a completely different fighter when he steps in the ring with Errol Spence Jr.
See there in Spence that makes you feel that, hey, you know what, I think I can take this guy.
It's a fight that wakes me up, you know? Wakes me up. You know those fights that you'd be like a challenge? Like the Tony Harrison fight for me was like all right, I've got to wake up. This is the fight. And it brings something different in your brain, in your body. You learn more about yourself. You just become a different person, a different animal. And that's another fight that will bring a different animal in.
Paulie Malignaggi believes Tim Tszyu also needs his own comeback moment, saying this matchup is a strong, sellable fight that connects well with both fighters' personal stories.
Errol hasn't been busy. He's sort of needs a comeback fight himself. Tim needs a little bit of a comeback himself. He just had a small win over Velasquez. He's going to keep trying to work his way back in. So you look at the fight on paper and you think, this is a sellable, marketable fight. And, you know, between two guys who need to work their way back in. And, you know, the winner is two big names, so the winner obviously creates a real drawing power to himself again and works their way probably into...
Andre Rozier believes Errol Spence Jr. should not return to the ring, pointing to his past injuries, accidents, and the overall wear on his career. He says that even with Spence's recovery, the risk is greater than the reward.
He posted on like social media, he looks like he's in like terrific shape. Looks like he took those last 2.5 years to really just get it, like his body right, maybe his mind right, whatever. Do you think we could see another run from Spence at 54?
Honestly, this is only my opinion, nephew. You know how I am. I don't want to see Spence back in the ring. I think he went through so much with everything, the accidents and everything. It's time for him to let boxing go. That's my opinion. I don't want to see him get in the ring and at a higher weight and it's been so long and the ring rust and the accident, the injuries. I think he should stay on his ranch, enjoy what he has gotten, be a cowboy cattleman and call it.
Andre Rozier says he does not want to see Errol Spence Jr. return to the ring. He points out that Spence has already faced a lot, including serious accidents, injuries, and the wear and tear from a long career. Rozier is concerned about ring rust, the challenges of fighting at a higher weight, and the possibility of further damage. He believes it's time for Spence to enjoy life outside the sport, spend time on his ranch, live as a cowboy and cattleman, and appreciate what he has already achieved. Rozier admits that walking away from boxing is never easy, especially for someone of Spence's talent and stature. The desire to return, compete, and show he still is what it takes is powerful. Still, Rozier is clear in his advice. If Spence chooses to step back into the ring, it should only be for a single farewell fight, not a full-scale comeback. He wants Spence to prioritize his health and long-term happiness over chasing another run at glory.
I mean, I assume it's gotta be difficult for a guy of his stature and, you know, going out the way he did. I'm pretty sure he wants to get that get back and kind of show at least, you know, I do have a little bit left in the tank.
Well, it could be, but I'm just saying from the perspective of an individual, an athlete that has gone through so many trials and tribulations, I think at this point in time, it's not going to help him. If he wants to get a win and then call it a day, I could co-sign to that. But for him to think he's going to relaunch his career, especially at 54, I think that's not a good idea.
Kell Brook shared his thoughts on the upcoming fight between Errol Spence Jr. and Tim Tszyu, calling it an exciting and unpredictable matchup. He pointed out that both fighters have very different strengths, which makes the fight highly competitive. Brook believes Spence still has the skill, ring IQ, and experience to perform at a top level despite his long time away from boxing. Meanwhile, Tszyu's relentless pressure and determination could pose serious challenges. Brook expects their contrasting styles to create fast-paced, action-filled rounds that will keep fans on the edge of their seats. For him, it's a fight that's definitely worth watching.
Last one before I let you go, a man that you have obviously fought, there was reports last night that apparently he'll be returning in the summer, Errol Spence Jr. versus Tim Tszyu. I mean, what do you make of that return? Obviously 3 years at the ring for himself. Just what do you make of his return?
You know, I'm excited as well. You know, I wish that I would have fought, you know, him back in the day, you know, but, you know, it's exciting. I met Tim Tszyu when I was in Australia, and it'll be interesting to see them two meet and lock on. So, you know, I'll be watching that, and I'll be excited to see, you know, the winners. You know, you never know. You know,
Paulie Malignaggi offered a cautious and balanced view on a possible fight between Tim Tszyu and Errol Spence Jr. He explained that Tim fights under PBC in the United States, and many of these bouts happen within the same promotional network. So the matchup makes business sense for both fighters at this point in their careers. However, Paulie noted there are still a lot of uncertainties. Spence has been out of the ring for a long time, and it almost seems like he hasn't fought in years. Because of this, no one can be certain what he still has left, either mentally or physically.
2 and 2 makes 4, right? You use your common sense. That Tim is a PBC guy in the States. These guys are PBC guys. You look for the correct possible matchup at this stage in their careers. You know, it may start to make sense, you know? So, you know,
How do you see it?
How do I see it? I don't know. I mean, Spence hasn't fought in decades, feels like, you know, even Charlo. So I don't know. How do you know what's left out of those guys mentally, physically? You don't know, you know? Obviously with Tim, there's a lot of question marks. He's just come back with a win, but at least Tim is trying to stay busy and active. With those guys, it's hard to say. You haven't seen them. You don't know how their training's going, if their training is even going, and how they are mentally and physically at this point in their life and their careers.
Tim's team copped a lot of criticism, his old team, should I say, about walking him into people like Fundora on short notice, or Murtazalayev unknown, or taking a rehydration clause on the IBF, and things like that.
Paulie Malignaggi also noted that Tim Tszyu has his own uncertainties, even though he has stayed active and recently notched a win. Explained that periods of inactivity make it difficult to fully assess a fighter's condition, training, and mindset. Paulie also referenced past criticism of Tim's former team taking risky decisions. In the end, he said that matching Tszyu directly with Errol Spence Jr. comes a lot of unknowns, as neither fighter is entirely predictable at this point.
Yeah, speak about him sitting on, but is it not just rewriting the books again?
With Spence, you don't know what's left. You know, he's not looked very good, so it might be one of those cases where you're catching him at the right time. But then again, Spence may feel that about Tszyu as well, right?
Yeah.
You might catch him at the right time. It's one of those things where the matchup makes sense because both guys might be catching one another at the right time. But you're gonna get a winner out of the fight, and the winner can, you know, move on to possibly a title fight. You know, as far as the criticism for Tim and his team, there's going to be a lot of opinions, but the person that has skated the most criticism, that deserves the most criticism, is the ringside doctor.
Analysts have noticed that Errol Spence Jr. seems to be quietly back in the gym, gearing up for a serious comeback, even without an official announcement. Footage speaks for itself. A short clip shared by Ron Junkyard Dog Peterson in Philadelphia shows Spence relaxed but focused while training. In the video, Spence is seen with one glove wrap, looking lean, sharp, and in strong condition. His arms are defined, with a light sheen of sweat indicating he has just finished a workout. He talks casually with Peterson while the camera rolls, creating a natural, authentic moment. Observers find it reassuring, showing that Spence has begun serious training and is steadily building consistency for his return.
And it looks like he is back training, which I will get into in a second. You know what? I'll just show you right now. Why wait? I mean, why should we wait? So right off rip, this is a video from Iran, the Junkyard Dog Peterson. He is a fighter out of Philly. Terrible jump. Beautiful jump, right? If some people are like, what do you mean, beautiful John? What is it? Like, so, some of you guys, y'all don't know what I'm talking about. You got to be on Instagram. That's where I've seen it, right? You got to know. If you know, you know. And he looking in shape. So we'll play the video. It's not much to it, and I can't play the music for copyright reasons, but you see them conversating. And when you look at Errol Spence, pause, you can see he got like a little bit of sheen, like sweat, like he was he did some form of a workout. And the caption read like, "Till next time, my ninja," from Iran. So many people believe that the two sparred. That's just what it is. Now, if you know boxing, or if you don't know, I'll tell you, Ron has sparred with great...
Errol Spence Jr. has been seen in Philadelphia honing his skills as he prepares for a potential fight against Tim Tszyu. Footage shows him calm but focused, moving with the confidence of a fighter getting back on track after setbacks. Observers point out his lean build, well-defined arms, and the sweat that shows he's already putting in serious work.
What I'm telling you is this, Earl. You can listen to me or not. I remember we had a chance to buy up the Metropolis, the Dallas Metropolis, when you was on top of the world. You said, call me. I called you. Nothing happened. But that's besides the point. I know you got a lot of money. I know you got your farm, your, what they call it? You probably got the zoo by now, right? But here's the reality of this thing. If you fight Tim Tszyu for $2 to $3 million, listen to what I'm saying. This is what Vegas is telling me. If you fight Tim Tszyu and have to go to Australia, you've destroyed your brand. Literally destroyed your brand. Why did you destroy your brand? Because they need to come to Dallas to fight you so you get all the money. Do you understand? You got to rebuild yourself. You don't go chasing dollars when you can spend the next 3 or 4 years building your brand.
Behind the scenes, there's a lot of talk about the business side of a possible fight. Some analysts caution that traveling to Australia for a $2 to $3 million purse could hurt Errol Spence Jr.'s brand. They suggest fighting in Dallas or Las Vegas first would make more sense to maximize earnings and rebuild momentum. The message is clear. Start at home, then expand strategically. Still, the training footage sends an even stronger signal. Spence looks focused, disciplined, and determined to show he still has a lot to give. But if the fight happens in Dallas, Vegas, or overseas, his comeback journey is clearly underway.
The third fight can be Keith Thurman. The third fight can be Fondora. The third fight can be whoever you want it to be. But you will not have any market value going to Australia and getting a guaranteed purse. You need to bet on yourself. Fight somebody who's 27-3, never been knocked out, 14 knockouts, and has been in the ring with a champion. That's what you need to do at 154. But what do I know? I'm crazy, I'm delusional, and yet I'm the one who's right. I end up being right every time.
This won't be an easy fight, especially for Errol Spence Jr., who has been out of the ring for nearly 3 years. He hasn't fought since his last bout against Terrence Crawford. He suffered a tough one-sided loss that raised doubts about his form and readiness. Long breaks like this often affect a fighter's timing, sharpness, and confidence. Jumping straight back into a fight against a strong and hungry opponent like Tim Tszyu is a bold move. Instead of taking a tune-up fight first, Spence seems ready to tackle a serious challenge right away. That choice highlights both his courage and his confidence in what he can still achieve in the ring.
Spence should just stay out of boxing. My concern is definitely not Tim Tszyu. In my humble opinion, I know if he comes back to the ring, he's going to wash him. But what it is he going to continue right after that fight? Is he going to proceed facing elite fighters at 154? Fondora, who is a 154-pound champion. Boots Ennis, Virgil Ortiz, does he still have that championship mentality? Mind you guys, he's coming off of a 3-year layoff, especially coming off of a devastating loss with Crawford. And to add salt to the wound, the whole car accident thing, which a lot of people want to use as an excuse for the Crawford fight.
I also agree too.
Sean Porter recently shared his thoughts on Errol Spence Jr.'s potential comeback. He pointed out that many fighters reach a point where they chase big fights and big paydays, even if their performance isn't at its peak. Porter compared Spence's situation to fighters like Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia, face injuries but still pursued high-profile bouts without fully proving themselves against top competition. Porter thinks Spence might be aiming for something similar, securing the kind of money he's used to while also testing how he feels on fight night.
Hearing the rumblings of a Fundora, when I think fighters get to a point where they want this, but they haven't been performing there. And I think that might be the case with Errol Spence Jr. Certainly was the case in my opinion, with Keith Thurman and also with Danny Garcia. I feel, even though they did battle injuries, I felt another big part of that was they wanted big pay against lower opponent. They didn't want to come back and get big pay against a big opponent. It's a part of the game. And I got a feeling that that's what Errol's looking at right now. I think Errol's looking at how can I, get the money that I'm used to getting. And, for the sake of words, he's got to get his feet wet again. He's got to see how he feels. And,
Sean Porter highlighted some lingering questions about Errol Spence Jr., including his current coaching situation and overall readiness. Still, he acknowledged that financial incentives often pull fighters back into the ring. Despite his concerns, Porter said he would back Spence to make a successful comeback, pointing to the resilience he showed in his fight against Terrence Crawford. He's not going out like that, Porter concluded, emphasizing Spence's determination to keep fighting.
There's a lot of things lingering right now with Errol. I'm not sure if he makes a comeback. This, unfortunately, is the one thing that I do know. Most fighters walk away until they have to come back, and usually it's the finance situation that brings them back. Certainly hope that doesn't end up being the case with Errol. If I had to bet on it right now, I would bet that Errol makes a comeback. I would bet that Errol makes a comeback because what we saw from him in his last match against Terrence Crawford, that was just how that fight went. But at the end of the day, and we can tell by how he kept getting up, that ain't who he is. And he ain't going out like that. So that being said, I guess I said a whole lot. Yeah, Errol comes back. If Errol don't come back, then that, to me, that means he's good with where he's at. And like I always say, if you good...
Errol Spence Jr. is coming off a tough and career-altering loss to Terrence Crawford in what was the biggest fight of his career for the undisputed championship. The first time, he was knocked down 3 times, repeatedly hitting the canvas. It marked his first professional defeat and shook both his confidence and momentum. On top of that, Spence no longer has the only trainer he's ever known. Then came a serious car accident and multiple eye surgeries, adding further physical strain. He has faced a lot of wear and tear over the years. Now, Spence has brought in a legend, Roy Jones Jr., to work closely with him in Dallas, evaluating what's left in his tank. While Jones brings deep knowledge and can mentor Spence, his own unique fighting style is hard to teach, making this new partnership both uncertain and intriguing.
Went off of a terrible loss, bad loss, physical damage to Terrence Bud Crawford, the biggest fight of his career for Undisputed. So he got dropped 3 times in a fight for the first time in his career. Being on the canvas, he got dropped 3 times. Then the first loss of his career. Then he don't have the only trainer he knew in his entire career. On top of that, he suffered that horrific car accident. He had the multiple eye surgeries, right? Just a lot of physical damage and unknown with Errol Spence. And now Errol Spence has brought in a legend, an icon, Hall of Famer in Roy Jones Jr., who can be considered in the eyes of many as the greatest fighter in boxing. As a trainer, Roy Jones is saying he's in Dallas today. See how Errol Spence responds, see what he has left in the tank, see what his abilities can be, and what has he lost and what has he not lost, right? So there's a lot they're gauging today to see, if it's a good fit that they work together, right? Now, Roy Jones is a fighter who fought in a style and a manner in which just can't be taught. It can't be taught, right? And Roy Jones as a trainer, no slight of disrespect, has not been very successful at the highest level as a trainer, right? we just haven't seen.
That's a wrap for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates.